Yes. And give a thumbs up when you're done. You live streaming right now? Peace and blessings, everyone. It's your girl Mocaso, and we're here for another episode of the Raw Talk with your favorite hosts, Chai and X. Chai, tell everybody what's up.
Hey everyone, what's up?
And X, tell the people what's good. And today we are here to talk all about the trending topics. You guys, okay, bet. And how you guys know every week we come together to talk about the trending topics. And I know we've got a hot itinerary because there's been a lot going on. So, Chai, what are we going to be talking about today?
Okay, so we got some really good topics today on the list. First, we have purchasing power of the US. We have is it up or down? Universal Music Group is not what. Okay, I don't know what I was putting down here, but these typos are crazy. Basically, Universal Music Group. We have Abusi's react to Twitter post. What was your favorite Jerry moment? Florida passes bill. What is that bill? Chinese woman smashes a robot. We have doppelganger, killer, and cheesecake. New jobs created by AI. China is heating up, and then we have an exoskeleton robot suit. Nice.
Woo, we got some hot topics. Man, I'm excited to dive in. I just dropped in the Discord to let everybody know we're getting started. To anybody watching, if you want to add in your own thoughts as well, make sure you drop it in the comments. We love to see it. Chai, what's going to be our first topic that we're diving into?
Okay, so we're gonna dive into the purchasing power of the U.S. So, I do think. Let me pull up this word. Actually, I think that was a little while ago. But what I do know is everybody turned their back on the U.S. and they definitely feeling the heat, or that's what it's looking like. But it can always be a different story.
I
Second.
like how you said that. That's how it's looking like, but it could always be a different story. And I actually found the link right here. If you guys are looking on the big screen behind us, that is actually our Discord. And this is the Raw Talk channel where you can see all of the links here to actually go and check this out yourself. So taking a look at this here that was shared by Wealth, it says the purchasing power of the US dollar has decreased by 97%. And here's a graphic where you can see back in 1900, where $1 was worth about $26.14. And then by right now, that same $26 is equivalent to the $1 that we're currently at. And so it's very interesting to see how, one of our dollars was equivalent to 26 back in 1913. So, and then it also goes on to just show another graph there. And yeah, I think, oh, here's the caption. Let me read that as well. So they say the purchasing power of the US dollar has declined over time, with $1 in 1913 having the same value as $26 in 2020 due to the growth of the money supply. The purchasing power of a currency represents the amount of goods and services that can be purchased with one unit of currency. The increase in the money supply by the government has led to a decrease in the value of the dollar. Now, it's very interesting, especially because we are all into cryptocurrency. So, well, not all of us, because maybe some of our viewers are not, but it goes to show the power of currency and that value, right? Because it's like, oh, wow, your $26 is equivalent to one now, from like 100 years ago. And that is common if people think about another country, right? Like, oh, if you got $1 in US dollars, you think you're going to go to a foreign country and be a millionaire because you just automatically assume your $1 is equivalent to like $100 of another country's currency in very simple example terms. So to think about your own money decreasing in that amount of value and what that means to different statistics, like when they say, there's less people buying houses, well, people are not making that much more than they were making, and the prices of things have been increasing for sure. So I think that's where you also see these ideas of like inflation. And like they said, because our government has been increasing the money supply for a few years now and been on that, because we've always been in debt from my entire lifetime. I've never known us to not be in debt and be increasing what that even means. But for them to again be putting it in our face and making it evident that there's a decrease, I think that just signals that we're in the middle of a shift with the masses becoming aware of it. So what y'all think?
I think you just kind of like broke everything down basically. So I would say for just just in shorter terms, if you're saving your money, that means you're not having your money work for you. And by knowing this information now, you need to start making like plans to um invest your money so it can increase in value. So if it's decreasing, then you got to figure out a way to increase it. And that is like if you're doing a 9 to 5, if you're like a 9 to 5er, um investing in like a Roth IRA, and like it's super easy to set up a Roth IRA. And if your company is like, oh, we'll offer like 50 cents to a dollar, so that means if you invest, or they'll like if you invest $1, they'll invest $1, then why not? And then you could take that tax-free money out later on in life, just because now you made your money work for you. So just food for thought.
Definitely some food for thought to get your money working for you. And I think that was a great pro tip to drop on the viewers who are listening to that and hearing that and wondering what that means, right? And you just, giving that gem to go learn about what that means and learn about how you can help curve that and have your money increase in value instead of decrease in value and just sit there. So X, is there anything that you wanted to add to that as well? Ooh, you heard that. Wait until you get to zero. That's something to think about. Again, you see it going down, but how much further could it go? It's got to hit zero, right? So definitely will be interesting to see how that plays out. You guys know we'll definitely be following along for that to see how it does actually play out, and talking about it along the way, and also here in these spaces to also teach you guys about that. If you don't know, I do also have a simple intro to cryptocurrency course on Udemy, which helps you kind of get a quick breakdown on what's happening in this fourth industrial revolution. So definitely go check that out so you can learn a bit more. And Chai, what's going to be our next topic for today?
Okay, so we have Universal Music Group. They are not having it. Okay. They said a new what does they call it? Ghost AI. I guess like he's making music, and he just made a creation about um with the weekend and Drake. I thought it was pretty cool, but they was like, we have no association with this. take this down, don't listen to it, blah blah blah. So they not too happy.
Okay, yep. And I did just share that on the big screen for everybody looking, which you can see this is one of the tweets from Daily Loud, which says Universal Music Group has responded to the viral AI generated song by Drake in the weekend, calling it fraud and telling streaming platforms to ban the technology. And all I've got to say is we already knew something like this had to happen because we already know they're trying to figure out this regulation. Everybody's trying it, everybody's doing it, but until somebody like a Drake in the weekend complain and say, hey, and go and get Universal Music Group and say, hey, then everybody's gonna pay attention and say, hold up. Now y'all gotta pull all that stuff. Where is AI even getting this information at? Because that's been a big question. Where does AI get all of their information at? And nobody was pushing the question until all of a sudden, now you got Drake in the weekend, and now they want to know, wait a second, where did y'all get all of our information? Where now you can literally recreate our artists without needing us or our artists and us not being able to get a piece of that. And not saying that they can't, because they do own those people and their likeness in a sense. So I think it's also interesting for AI artists who are trying these tools and trying to put it out there, because you could end up with an email, with a cease and desist and a lot more if you do try to monetize these just different things, which again is where I just say, that's where we get this cross pass with some regulation. So I see Boogie just joined. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see Harlem Film House in the space. And we was actually just talking about this in our cohort earlier today, which is again that power of ownership and AI trying to use these different artists and their work to recreate it. So X or Chai, is there something that you wanted to add about that?
I think it's cool, but then also too, it's like plagiarizing, and I know like plagiarizing is huge. I've seen people like in school cry. The teacher was like, all these people are getting an F. I'm reporting you in front of the class. So to be in like a legal sense where you have like businesses and like labels and brands, it could get very messy. And so they're trying to like draw a line in the sand to um to disassociate with that. So I think it's cool, but then again, it's not cool.
I definitely feel you on that one, right? Where it's like, if you was the artist, you wouldn't want nobody popping out with a Chai remix that Chai not getting no penny of, that had nothing to do with it. And then also, what if they do it with somebody that's, maybe like racist, right? What if they like anti-black and it's a song that's like talking bad about black women? And then, I always start to think like, okay, what about the bad that people can do with these tools? And again, why it can be bad, right? Because again, there's good in it, where yes, creators get to use these tools. One of the examples I was saying earlier was because now they get to reference it, right? There's been a lot of amazing songwriters who have these amazing songs, but they have to go and pay artists to actually sing these songs to get any recognition, where now they can have their song, and have whoever sing it and now use that as their own portfolios or to pitch and all different kind of things. Or maybe now you get, that artist for the low, maybe because now they actually don't have to do that work. So there is good in it. But like you said, there can also be bad. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. X, was there anything that you wanted to add about the AI generated music and Universal Music cracking down on it, telling people to ban technology?
Mm.
Right, that was a good one right there. And I definitely was just scrolling through the comments and I seen lots of love, people being like, yeah, that song was great already. If you want to hear the song and you haven't, like I said, go join our Discord because the link is on our Discord where you can read the thread yourself, read all the juicy comments because you know that's where it gets real juicy in the threads there. And Boogie, like I said, I know we had this conversation earlier, but was there anything that you wanted to add in regards to what your opinion on AI in the music sphere? And if not, no pressure. We just always love to open up the floor. Okay, she says her mic's not working with no pressure, sis. Enjoy the space, looking good. And feel free to drop your thoughts in the chat too. We'll read it out for sure. But Chai, so then what is the next topic? We'll keep it going and then revisit.
Okay, so the next topic is going to be Boosie's recent Twitter post. So he's talking about um, Carol Bryan and Emmett Till, and how she recently passed, and then how Jerry Springer recently passed as well. So I think that's in.
Yes, ma'am. I just got it up. So let's see.
Can you read this? Can somebody read this in Boosie's voice?
Hey, listen, I can't do no impersonations. Maybe that's gonna be on you. I'm not good at impersonation.
Wait. I'm trying to move the camera. I want to say it. Okay. I'm going to try to do my best Boosie impersonation. All right.
You got
Let me zoom in because I got to try and read this. Okay. I'm going to bleep out the cuss words. Okay. So we have, I don't even know how to do that man's voice. That bleep just died. Who messed over Emmett Till? Why do I sound like a person from the South? I'm about to roll this bleep that pack LOL. I'm going to Jerry Springer's funeral. That was my guy. When is it? This man is too much.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I see, and then I see here in the pictures. So Emmett Till's accusers, Caroline Bryant, Donham passes away at 88 due to a cancer battle, and then we see legendary host Jerry Springer passes away at age of 79. And Chai, I gotta give it up to you for that attempt at Lil Boosie. I'm not gonna say it sounded like him exactly, but it sounded like what I would sound like if I tried it. I think it sounded like everybody.
That is hilarious.
I think everybody will go for that summer. It was missing that little like, you know, like that Boosie
that
twang
little
that
twang.
sound like he's
Yeah,
like he's singing like it sounds like if you got bass rocking in your voice or something.
Yeah, you said you. That's funny.
But no, that is so funny. I think it's cool when people like the Shade Room pop out and show off Boosie's tweets because I think he's one of these independent artists who be out here trying to make a dollar out of a penny and do it in his own different way. And he got his own opinions, and I don't think people should, you know, be ostracized because of their opinions. You know, that's them, and that's their business. And so whenever he pops out here and I see someone like the Shade Room just sharing like his tweets and then everybody kind of gets a laugh at it, you know, it's again just showing they just like X says, that advertisement. You know, I'm here in Vegas where he actually just opened up a whole like venue here in Vegas, and that's not something that you see on the Shade Room, but him still being here in the Shade Room still offers that same promotion that he's still relevant in a sense. So I be here for the laughs, especially from Boosie, because we all be thinking something, you know, alike, or it just be funny to hear him thinking his thoughts in his voice too. So, what'd you say?
He just says whatever comes to mind. Like he is himself in the most truest form. I feel like.
and that's raw, right? That's
That's
raw.
raw.
That's all we could do is be out here saying our own opinions, and that's why we even started raw talk, right? Because it was like, hey, there's all this crazy stuff happening in the world, and everything you have to be so politically correct, but we just want to have a place to come and just talk about this stuff together, right? And so people like Boosie make others feel comfortable. Like, hey, if you don't got the same opinion as the masses, that's cool for you to say whatever you got to say too, no matter how outlandish it sounds. You can say it and be all right. So good stuff right there. RIP to Jerry Springer too, because we all watched the Jerry Springer episode once in our lives that made us
Yeah.
laugh. And so Chai, what is the next topic on our itinerary?
Okay, Florida passes a bill. What is this bill? Oh,
Take a
before
look
we
here.
comment on that, Boogie made a comment.
Oh, yep, I see. She said Jerry was dope AF. He was. I just had a friend who was on Jerry Springer actually and got paid for it, and I was like, dang, I didn't know they were still doing that, but they is. They out here still Jerry Springering. Well, not now, RIP, but they was.
Man, for real.
That's like for my son's birthday, we was in a hotel and I ended up watching Maury on cable because they had it on the TV. And I'm like,
Oh
man, I miss this
Lord.
kind of TV.
That was crazy. Like craziness at its finest.
And so I'm trying to pull up the link here for this one. So bear with me. Said it's a Florida bill, man. We've been dropping all kind of stuff. Here we go. Here we go. I'm like, we got all kind of good stuff, man, in there. Like I said, if you guys have not joined the Discord, make sure you do, because you also get a point for every time you also share something crazy via Instagram, on Twitter. And then you do get a digital mug for coming to our spaces, and then can also earn discounts if you want the physical mug as well by sharing topics. So definitely make sure you guys tap in. I've got it up on the big screen where you can see Florida lawmakers passed bill allowing the death penalty for individuals who sexually abuse children. And so in the caption from the Shade Room, it says Florida passed a bill that allows individuals convicted of sexually abusing children to be considered for the death penalty. The legislation was passed in a bipartisan 34 to 5 vote. The legislation applies to anyone who gets convicted of abusing a child under the age of 12. And I'm saying, man, Florida been doing some good things. I mean, been doing all kind of things out here in the world. I know they passed this, and I think this is important because of a lot of the other things we see in society that are hypersexualizing children, right? There was an Instagram I was seeing post I seen today of a curriculum that they have for fourth graders, and the images in there of like actual cartoons in the bed, and all different kind of positions and people in the bed, and it's like that's not for fourth graders. That's not what needs to be on their mind. And I think for people to be putting it on their mind, things like this is there to protect them, because adults need to be understanding that there's severe punishment if you think you're going to be out here taking advantage of children, because it's not okay and it's never going to be okay. No matter how they may glamorize it with like these brands that have all these crazy ads. I don't even remember the one that was trending that had all the kids in the pictures that were just like, again, uncomfortable to even look at. But again, if
It
you
was
think you're about
the
to be out here playing with kids,
it was the
just think about
Balenciaga. It was the
it. Yeah.
Balenciaga shoot. Yeah.
Mhm. And just like I said, so much, right? So much in general. So just for anybody, like, oh, if you think everything is just green, there's some people out here, again, that's not going for it. and that's how we rocking.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, real interesting. So, X or Try, was there anything else that you wanted to add about that? Otherwise, we'll roll into the next topic.
I think that's really good that Florida is doing that. Um, yeah, like you said, you're seeing like a lot of changes going on. And it just cuts down on kids being like abused and stuff like that. Because they're the next generation to the society, and we just don't want to have like effed up people in the world that really just need healing. Um, and I just recently saw like a movie um where you'll get in your head about certain stuff, and it's because somebody else abused you as a kid, and now like you're lashing out in destructive ways, and it's because somebody else was did the same thing to them. So it's just like it's really great to see things um work out where you just can't mess with kids anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and I'm with you on that. And so, and I hope more states see that, and want to apply that. We're all making these new bills. It's like, I why was that? I mean, I guess because maybe people consider the death penalty extreme, but again, it's like you said, understanding the severity of it so that we can start um nipping those kind of issues in the bud, right? Like, why are we still having adults sexually assault children, right? Like, how can we actually eliminate that problem instead of feed into it? And so I think that was a great way of putting that.
Appreciate it.
Of course. And so then what was the next topic on our itinerary there?
Okay, so the next topic is going to be Chinese woman smashes a robot. So,
Oh, yeah, I seen that journal.
China, just a little play on words. But I think it's Tiny actually posted that, I think.
Hey, did she? Let me see if I can find it up in here. This is Cash App. Oh, maybe I'm too far. Oh, here we go. Okay. So we got this up here. I might be able to share it. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So on the screen, you can see the artificial intelligence backlash. So every rebellion starts with one person who's had enough. This Chinese woman is smashing up a robot because it's Chinese hospitals. All medical examination appointments are mostly done via the robots. There are very few nurses left to help patients directly. Unfortunately for her, due to the social credit system in place, it's pretty likely she'll face a fine, maybe jail, but definitely an impact on her ability to access services due to her score. But this could be a glimpse of the future. If the French are rioting over adding 2 years until the retirement age, then consider the sentiment when faced with AI and robots taking jobs at an unprecedented scale. Also, not the first example. Plenty exists of adults and children harassing a robot in various scenarios. While robots start becoming more common and accepted, for those robotic arrival has negatively impacted them, there will be resentment and that and if that's well. So this video isn't loading here for some reason. So sadly you guys can't see her attacking it, but she has like a bat and she's just like hitting it. She knocks off like the head, a few different things. Like I said, if you're in the Discord, you can go and check it out yourself. But I think that's very interesting because just like we were saying, there's some people like us who see all these new tools and are excited to try them and understand that they're tools and how we can like use them to help us put ourselves in a better position than before we had them, when there's others who just feel like they have no other position, and these robots are coming in and taking that. Or even for this lady who was just irate at the robot because she's in, like they said, a hospital or something of that nature. And I can only imagine like being in a hospital and like being in an emergency situation and having to talk to a robot and it's giving me the same answer back and forth, because I already be one of those people on the phone like, robot, if you don't give me a representative, I'm going to punch you through this phone. Okay. So, so I can only imagine being again in a reception office. And, maybe it's telling you like, oh, your insurance is denied because you're not entering it in right. And maybe it's because you're not, knowing what to do and you're used to talking to somebody, but having to go through it this way or not get services, you get why there's that frustration. But I think one of the biggest things that caption hit on was also how I mentioned the repercussions, because again, that was even one of the things I mentioned when it came to that first thing with AI, where it's like there has to be this regulation repercussion. That's why again we see these different situations that start setting that and letting people know what's going to happen if you do that. Because if we're marching into uncharted territory, people are going to be testing the waters until they find out what happens when they do it. And so they let you know, oh, well, there's a social credit score also. So she's in China having this issue with this hospital, but that's not going to just walk away and that's the end of it, because there's a social credit score where she's going to get a fine and probably going to have to pay for that robot, all the missing pieces, everything that it takes to repair that. Because of blockchain technology and the advanced technology that we're living in, they can, track and see how much every single thing costs and bill you for that. And then, I'm not sure how connected China already has their citizens banks to their social credit score, but like optimal, you guys already know here in the States, if you don't pay your tax return, they're taking it out your taxes, because it's that easy to take it right out your check, or you not get again your refund back or something like that. So again, imagine if your social credit score is connected to your bank account, and now you beat up this robot and you look at your bank account and the money for the cost of the robot is already out, or you again got this fine that you have to automate until it is automated itself, or authorize until it is automated. And then again, she could even face jail, and her score is going to be affected where they're going to say she can't even go back. Or maybe say if she does get to go back, maybe you have to go to a different hospital with less resources because your social score isn't high enough for you to go to that hospital that has those resources. These are those things we have to be thinking about as we move, how we move, and deal with our emotions as, we go further. And so, Chai or X, was there anything that else that y'all wanted to add about that? And that's raw, man. Like you said, it's you already know people around the world think of Americans as wow, because of, like you said, the things that is put out to the media. Like we all think we normal, but to the outside, everybody has a different perception, and it is interesting to play out. And I think that's one of the topics or um, themes that I love that we all kind of mention when we talk about these different topics, which is understanding that all of this is all a little bit of propaganda, right? We're seeing all of these different things trending for a reason. And we're trying to not only talk about that topic and the deeper message within that topic, but again, how they're even all connected in these bigger mission or messages that we can even get from the whole. And we're trying to not only talk about that topic. Yeah. Exactly. That emotion is going to get you every time because that's what people are playing on. They're banking on the emotion. They're banking on you making a frivolous decision because you get so hyped up in anxiety or so depressed or so mad and angry or, so resentful or again, this divide and conquer, where it's like, oh, you can say it was because they was black and now you got a whole crowd of angry people behind you for whatever you're trying to say because again they know they can play on these emotions to try to move things as well, so people being able to manage that during this time is also going to be uh, something that affects it. But I don't think people manage that very well either. Because I think, one of the things we had talked about before was how much more estrogen is like in food and, how everything even affects us being able to deal with our emotions and feed into that as well. Mm. And wake up, don't remember nothing. That's wow, man. But this is the world that we're living in, man. This is the world that we're living in. And we doing our best trying to navigate it. We seeing it, putting it out there. And all of those that's watching, this is food for thought. When you're looking at that media, think about what you're really seeing it for.
Robot. So that's where that was part of the whole C-19 situation or it was like, like 1 week, and it was like it looked like oh that was 19, but now that has come to transition, we're seeing what and the hospital still there. They operate with their employees. Like that's the message you should see, not just in Canada, but worldwide. Like, 1919 shit has disappeared, but a lot of shit that was come from it is still active.
Ooh, that's raw. A lot of stuff is set in place. Everybody was thinking we're going back to normal, and we're telling people this is new normal. these are the new normals, and every day we're still a new normal, right? Even from there, nobody thought AI was about to bust out and take over the way it did, and we're still just seeing a lot of this stuff, pop out to the masses. I don't want to say pop out because a lot of stuff has been around, but for the masses and for consumption. So we're definitely going to be around watching. And so, Chai, what was the next topic on our itinerary?
Okay, so we have doppelganger, killer, and cheesecake. I thought this was interesting.
Let's see. See, do they what the link says. We got to get our commercials down packed. So this be the times we input our commercial. Doppelganger. I don't think I see that link in here.
Oh man.
Doppelganger cheesecake and what? I feel like this is one of those jokes. Like you got a doppelganger cheesecake at a bar. Like, hold up.
Hold on, let me find it. And sometimes they be you'll input it and then they'll get rid of it.
Happens. Oh, I see. You just sent it to me via IG. Perfect. Okay. Oh, this your Instagram live I just got. Hold up. I didn't even know you was on Instagram live with it.
That's what I just got. I gave a little taste of it, little clip, and then when you drop it on the YouTube, then they could
see the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think I could find that link though. Let me see.
Oh, I'm so sad. That was a good one.
Okay, go to the next topic. I'm gonna keep looking right here.
Okay, so we have new jobs.
Oh, I just found it.
Okay.
Okay, I see it was laced cheesecake. Okay. So what the mystery was. So a woman sentenced to 21 years in prison for attempting to kill her lookalike with poisoned cheesecake. So in the caption, it reads, a New York woman convicted of trying to kill a lookalike friend with a sedative laced cheesecake has been sentenced to 21 years in prison. Prosecutors say that 47-year-old woman, I ain't gonna say no names and nobody out here wilding out, attempted to kill her friend back in 2016 with a laced cheesecake so that she could steal her identity, passport, and other documents to return to Russia. Thankfully, Olga survived, and the attempted murderer was convicted of second-degree attempted murder, first-degree attempted assault, second-degree assault, and first-degree unlawful imprisonment, and petite larceny back in February. So she out here wilding out, and she was trying to get back to Russia. That's
what's in Russia?
Right. That's what she really thought. Like, no, it's sweet out there. You just poison somebody with some drugs and then you good from there. It's that's true. That's even worse. Right.
Dang, and then she probably got her with her because that's her friend, she probably got her with her favorite slice of cheesecake too.
What? Probably had the strawberries on it and everything ready.
Yeah, that's messed up. She probably got the red velvet cheesecake.
Luckily her friend was on to it though and didn't just dive right in, because I'm thinking like, cheesecake be like a block of cheese. Like you don't even know it until you really already eating it. So I wonder how she got caught. That's my question here. I'm gonna have to go read some of the comments and see how she got caught. Like how the friend know she was poisoned and then get out of it, and then her friend go to jail. That'd be the part of the movies I like seeing. You know, like what was that moment when her friend over there started choking? Like, hold up, bitch, you done poisoned me, but she choked
Hold
me.
up.
And got over it. You know, like what happened right there? She was like, but it's
Go ahead and eat
interesting.
that.
Yeah,
Go ahead
and
and
I
eat
think
that real quick.
right. And I think, like X said, one of the main things we see with that is just, again, number one, the proof is in the pudding, like we was just saying. You know, this whole recipe on, hey, get your enemy close, and then, you know, get him when he's not thinking. You know, get him with his favorite piece of cheesecake, and then you take their identity, they go run off and live the best life being them now. And that's the sad reality that, again, you know, people really think is facts. So it's interesting, man. This was a funny one to follow up with. And I see G Deuce just hopped in the space. So welcome. We're talking about trending topics for that have been happening all week. So feel free to drop your thoughts in the chat or to unmute and share. Otherwise, Chai, what is our next topic on the itinerary there?
Okay. So our next topic is going to be new jobs created by AI. And Tiny again dropped this topic.
Okay, great. And I know I was just looking at that because I actually seen that link and I was like, oh, let me, most of these, I'd be like, let me go see what's going on with that. But when I seen this one too, I'm like, okay, this is really, really interesting. What's the top four? And I bet AI even generated this list. It did. I already knew it. So let me share this screen on the Jumbotron for you all there. So it says, and this is by Hey Barcy. I always like to shout out these creators who are sharing this great content because we ain't news reporters, all right? We just sharing what we see. So, but Hey Barcy says, asking ChatGPT what new jobs will be created because of AI. And here are the top 14 jobs created that might come true. So number one, prompt engineer, professionals who create and refine prompts to effectively guide AI systems in generating desired outputs. Algorithm inspector, experts who review and analyze AI algorithms to ensure their performance, safety, and ethical compliance. Human machine trainer, specialists who work closely with AI systems, training and fine tuning them for better performance. AI ethics manager, deep fake reviewer, authenticity checker, kill switch engineer, AI dream interpreter who will specialize and analyze AI generated dream simulations to gain insights into humans' creativity and problem solving. Interesting. Robotic emotion designer, AI art curator, AI talent agent, AI assisted legal mediator, AI powered storyteller, and virtual reality therapist. And so that is very interesting when you think about the different fields that it just said. I think one of the main ones that people will see often that will kind of become like, I want to say almost like, I don't want to say maybe entry level, but maybe so something of that nature, is that human machine trainer. Where again, it says those are the specialists who work closely with AI systems, training and fine tuning them for better performance. Because when we talk about like how our society will shift with AI and a lot of jobs being replaced, I know that is like everyone's biggest fear, right? Like, oh man, my job or this job or that job, or, you know, people that's been spending 10 years in, and even it said lawyer, right? Because it said, hey, a legal mediator, right? So now again, you don't have to go and spend $1,000 to get a legal form for a lawyer when you could go get it for free from AI or different things like that. Where again, you will start seeing AI be an asset to a business. So if you want to be an asset to that business as well, you being able to program and teach or even understand the information pulled from it, those are going to be those skills that these different businesses are looking for. And even if you want to put yourself in a business owner mindset, right? Even the reason why AI has been coming out so much is because of the bottom line, right? businesses always are looking for ways to cut costs, and one of the biggest costs is employees, right? And that's one of, I want to say, not the biggest cost, but one that's hard to alleviate, because if you need the work done, then you have to pay somebody to do the work. But if you have AI now, then you don't have to, right? Or you can maybe pay one person to watch over the AI that can do all 10 of those things, or maybe you just need two people instead of 20, and different things like that. So I thought that was a very interesting list. One that also popped out to me was that dream interpreter, because I always be saying you gotta be careful, man, with AI having all this information about your brain. So it's just one of those other little tidbits that popped out and was interesting to me. Was anything interesting to anybody else? Try your next. Right.
That was the
And
one
then
that kind of stuck out to me. Was the dream one for sure, because if you've seen like any show or any movie, um like dream movies, they make it like very like dramatic, and it make it seem as though like, oh, okay, this is just a movie, but in real life, things like that are gonna start happening where you can mess people up. Like you said, if you put somebody into like an alternate like reality, and then they're thinking like, okay, like I'm living this life, I have like this type of lifestyle, and you get pulled out of that, like what happens to your mind then? And just like the technology is going to be super experimental, even with like AI and like testing that as well. So and a lot of people are going to be guinea pigs, um and what they're putting out now, like you guys were saying about like 2 episodes ago, X was saying like, the Apple Watch and like face recognition, and I'm not gonna go too far with it, but it can get crazy. So if you've seen like a movie, just know like it's been made like that for dramatic purposes, but it can get just as dramatic in real life.
in real life. J Deuce or Boogie, was there any or J Deuce, was there any that stuck out to you that you wanted to share? Feel free to unmute. If not, no worries. Also check the chat. I
I just want to say our audience is super cute.
I know, I definitely agree. Make sure you over there snipping some pics. I know you is already.
Right.
Also, explain the dream thing again. So, for the top 14 new jobs, this one says the AI dream interpreter, which is specialists who analyze AI generated dream simulations to gain insights into human creativity and problem solving. And so, Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how that goes. I have a little notebook actually. There's a woman in our network, CJ, who sells them on Amazon, and I always try to if I remember to write my dream down, I try to write it in my notebook because I understand, there's some type of power in that. You say you don't understand that, but it sounds interesting. Yeah, I definitely agree that one sounds interesting as well. And I think, like you said, that's one of those we're gonna really, really understand what it's all about the more that it even unfolds, because that hasn't been a job really known to the public until now. We do have people where, like, I have a dream, like I said, I'm gonna go Google and be like, what does it mean if a lion do this or do that? Some people already do this for the
For
job.
real.
But when you add AI into it, again, like X was saying, being able to have all of your information, like you said, if you have a headset and they already have your brain waves, and then you sleep, and then you got your dream, being able to really understand and interpret what your dream is really saying is going to be taken to the next level when AI really understands you. And I think they also said that's also going to help understanding human creativity and problem solving. And I think that's going to be an important job, because I think those are the two areas of humanity and human beings that AI can't have, right? They don't really have creativity because they're just programmed, and then they don't have problem solving. Well, I guess they do have problem solving, but just that lack of creativity in a sense. So another one I thought that was really interesting, just to switch gears on that one, which is AI talent agent. And this one says representatives who promote and manage AI generated personalities, artists, or influencers in various industries, which I think is going to be really interesting, because you'll also see AI talent, right? Again, in the cohort earlier, we were talking about how avatars can, have their own personas. And so I think, if you have a bunch of different avatars and, you're kind of listing them for different things. I've seen a modeling agency that already had their, avatar being able to be a supermodel on Decentraland, or create real avatars that are being really listed for, clothing lines and things like that, that you don't even realize are digital models, which will even blow your mind. Like, the celebrities that she already is working with. So I think AI talent agent will also become one of those jobs that will become more prevalent. And mm, yeah, and I think those are some really great examples too that you gave there. So anybody listening, don't be behind. Don't be one of those people who heard it and then let it go. If you're interested in music, this is your chance, right? We talked about how AI is already disrupting the music industry, and being a disruptor isn't always a bad thing, because that means you're making some shaking. Usually something come when stuff starts shaking. So, it's just all about being in the right place at the right time. And then Chai, what was our next topic on our itinerary there?
Okay, so we have China is heating up. I don't know if I'm heating up, but according to the article, I am.
Hold up, wait a minute. Let's see. Okay, yep, I do see this here for China's artificial sun. So let me start sharing this tab instead. So if you can see, this says China's $1 trillion artificial sun breaks a new record. So this is just another picture of what this interior looks like here. And so in the caption, it says China's artificial sun achieved a significant milestone by maintaining a steady state, high confinement plasma operation for 403 seconds. This breakthrough, surpassing the previous record set in 2017, brings us closer to developing fusion reactors. Fusion energy is seen as the ultimate energy for humanity's future. I don't know. That no something about that just didn't sound promising.
I was waiting for somebody to say that. I was
Well,
waiting. I'm like, are we really like? Is this yeah? Because I'm just like, is space really space? You just start thinking about some things, but I try not to get too deep in certain stuff. But
yes, they always mess me up with the sky is the ocean and the ocean is the sky, and I'm like, but I don't get it. I don't get it, but I get it. But like you said, we be going with it, and so I like that point. How do you know the sun that we already looking at is the sun, right? But that fusion energy, that's the one that intrigues me, because we all know it. The sun is powerful, but it's power from afar. And they say if the sun get too close, that's not good. So I don't think it would be good to have something as powerful, as the sun that close for all of us right here. But that's just my
what they
thinking while we figuring it out. No, go
they
ahead. That's what
talking
I
about
think.
Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton talking about it's gonna end in 2060. So I think they try to get prepared for, they might take that sun and take it to the next Earth and and use that sun and I don't know. They doing some funky stuff up here. And I'm not liking it.
Okay. Man, that's raw. I always think about that kind of stuff too. Like like when you walk into a new neighborhood and it's like you have no idea what's going on, but there's some people that like know that street and the people in the street. Not like you just go to school so you know the school people, but no, like the neighborhood and where everybody live and the intricacies of that neighborhood. Like, nah, there's people that really understand the intricacies of this world. Like you said, they see this and they like, nah, this is deep. Oh my gosh.
Also, that too is like they've mastered the art of storytelling. So it's just like I could tell the masses whatever. I can be like, yeah, we're building another sun, but like it could be something totally different, which you don't know because everything is so intricate, and it's like you got to do your research on top of research on top of research. So what is what? And if AI does expose all those documents that they just happen to sharpie out, you know, what is it going to say about our government and like how things have been ran? And once that exposure hits, what's going to happen from there? So
Woo! That was hot right there, Kai. That's a good one. You don't know what that is for real, for real. Like, yeah, we saying we don't know what it is, but you don't really, really know what it is. And it always being then some, man. Always. Because it'll never be how it seems. And I think that's been the main point right here. Like it do, but it don't. Because it still be that catch 22 with, because there's a bigger plan here that, like you said, we can't even fathom the vastness of it, right? Because it didn't start here and it's not about to end here either. And it can keep going until it needs to get to the next point. So interesting stuff right there, folks. China, I think we've got a few more topics here on the itinerary for today. What was the next up? Oh, we got one more, it looks like.
right, so last one is exoskeleton robot suit. So that one's, I think that's the last link. And then we have an honorary mention just for the last wrap up.
Perfect. So this is the Japanese firm develops real life exoskeleton robot suit. So as you can see on the Jumbotron, what that looks like is this skeleton on top of the human, and he's has his arms in there operating it. Oh, I guess it's not going to play the video. Maybe videos. Oh. Yeah, it's not going to play him walking on it. So join the Discord to see the videos and the links for it. Or check out Wealth. We get a lot of our links from Wealth. That's, as you see, one of our OG sources. But they always are dropping some really cool stuff that, again, is like of relevance in a sense. So here in the caption, it says, oh, there we go, a little video playing. So Japanese robotics company Skeletonics has developed an 8-foot tall robotic exoskeleton called Arrive that allows users to control its movements with its own limbs. The suit is designed for entertainment and recreation purpose and weighs 40 kg and costs around 35,000 euros. The Tokyo-based company aims to make people feel like giants and envisions a future where the technology creates a world without physical limitations. And so, oh yeah, I do see his feet. I didn't even realize that his feet was up at first. So yeah, his whole body in that joint. Interesting. Got knees, a belt buckle.
I like
You
how
remind me
they
of those.
it's Right. And the wording of it is it's for entertainment purposes. You think people just gonna buy that thing just to entertain themselves? Like, please don't. It's really the wording for me. So yeah.
That's a good
So
one.
you
Cause
with
like you
that?
said, people gonna put this to use for something. Like X said, it's gonna be your car, it's gonna be,
Somebody gonna get in
you're
their
gonna
head
see
that
people
they
probably have
Iron
robot
Man.
fights. We're gonna be over
Yeah, they
here
gonna get in their
with some real
head
life.
and be Captain Man. Or think they a hero or a villain and be Captain Save a Ho.
Okay. Oh, there's plenty of them out
So
here in this world looking for a suit just like this.
man. Or the military.
And it's all coming, right? Because like you said, Chai, this is just the beginning. It's not just for entertainment. If you can do this with one person for entertainment, imagine if you take this technology for purposes, how it can be changed and transformed. And I think you start out with the for entertainment just because that's where you get people now, one, desensitized to it, because now they're looking at it like, oh, I would use that to do this, or I would do that. Because if it came out like, no, this is how the police officers are coming out, now you're looking at it like, hold up, why the officers got a whole extra robot attached to them or something like that? Or again, you will have maybe a little bit of resistance, but saying, oh, it's for entertainment gets people a little more like interested and warmed up to it. And then I think we'll see more from there. And people trying it too. Like we said, a lot of people are going to start using it for a lot of ways that the developer probably didn't even think about. So they're going to use the information to learn how they can even use their technology more. And so, Chai or X, was there anything else that you guys wanted to add about the Arrive exoskeleton? If not, we have been chit-chatting away. Everybody in the comments, I hope, or in the live stream, I hope you've been enjoying. Make sure you drop your thoughts in the chat as well. We love to keep it going. Also, most importantly, join the Discord if you have not, because like I said, that is where the party happens every single week. And we're sharing throughout the week, talking about these trending topics, and then come here on Saturday to actually talk about it live for everyone else. So, Chai, was there anything else that you wanted to add before we leave out? I think you said we had a special topic.
Yeah, just like a little something funny. So I know you've seen like in social media lately about a football player. I don't want to say his name wrong. Akraf, was it Hakimi? I cannot say that right. I'm sorry, I butchered his name. Where she filed a divorce from him and was trying to take like half of his money, and then turned around, he didn't have anything, and now he's like taking half of her stuff because he put yes.
Oh,
He
yeah,
put
the soccer.
I said hot dog.
Interesting. Look at his mama. That looked like a good mama. Like she ain't about to let nobody try to play with her
Yep.
son.
Yep.
Only thing I will say is it was I don't like to add none on my right and justify, but apparently they're separated allegedly because of some sexual assault allegations he had, but apparently they happened before they even got before she filed for divorce, so, or before they got married, all kind of different wild things. So, but I kind of see that kind of stuff as maybe people trying to stir the pot once it doesn't kind of go their way, kind of thing, and try to force a hand. But hey, we see that protection. And on this note as well, I also seen in the news Cardi B, if you guys have been seeing anything about how she won that lawsuit from Tasha K. I think we talked about that one of these Raw Talks actually, when she won that lawsuit. And she actually just sees Tasha K's last $1,000 in her bank account and $9,000 from her YouTube earnings. And she said she's going for every check she get from Google for the next 3 years. So, people not playing with their money. They not playing with protecting it. They not playing with coming for it. I know Tasha K was trying to like leave the country because she didn't want to have to pay because she didn't want to have to pay Cardi back. But that ain't happening. So you see there's some people that know how to protect their money and there's some people that don't. Because you can't be out here playing with people's monies.
Yeah, she should have did something. Shit, keep your mouth closed. That's where it comes into that emotion. It's just like, if you had a problem or an issue, either say something or just keep that to yourself. But like, um, you don't need to do that.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I think in these two instances, we see two different people, like the Tasha K and the divorcee wife, kind of in those same predicaments on, trying to do something and kind of seeing how these people that are put themselves in position knew what they was doing when they put themselves in position to protect that position. So on that note, to everybody watching, as you continue to grind and try to elevate your mind, your body, your soul, spirit, and your life, make sure you protecting that and aligning with those that keep it raw with you. Be able to talk about all the different topics in the world. You shouldn't just be able to go out with your friends or just talk about one thing. You should be able to talk about all of this stuff. We talked about so many different topics, and it was raw. So, Chai, was there anything else you wanted to add for today?
Oh, this was great.
Awesome. Well, thanks again to everybody that popped in and listened. I see we have Maya just pop in as well. Make sure you like the space. We do get together every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific time to talk about the trending topics for the week. And we'd love to have you part of it. So thanks again for everybody watching the stream. We'll catch you next week. Peace.